if you're new here, my name is Dani, and this is Coffee Break with Dani. Today it's actually going to be Coffee Break with Dani and Parker. We are going to do a girl chat, girl talk, rants, confessions, questions, jokes video for you guys. Just, you know the drill. You send in your questions via Instagram, and it could be something about advice, it could be a checking in, it could be a joke, you could just be ranting about something, and we'll add fuel to the fire, because what else do good friends do? You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are unfamiliar, I have a playlist that I will link in the description box below. It's basically a video that I do, I would say probably, what's going on here? Is that my eyebrow? Oh, it's just a pimple. Sorry, false alarm. It's a video that I do, or I try to do at least every 3 months, and it always works via Instagram. I'll put a little question box up, and you got what? I'm just full of just a bag of tricks today, aren't I? Look at this pose. It's my assertive pose. So it's a video that I do every 3 or 4 months. I think it's a way for us to just hang out. I have been told, I'm not tooting my own horn here, I have been told that I give good advice. I never take my own great advice, but I do try my best to apply either personal experience or just my wealth of knowledge and trauma that I've been exposed to in my almost 40 years of life to help a sister out. So if you guys sent in a question on Instagram or a request, actually there's a little bit of a backstory, and here's the backstory. Cheers, first of all. Like, if you need a drink, go get your drink now, because these videos are usually about an hour long. So run and grab your drink. I posted on Instagram and I said, hey you guys, one of you left me a comment in a video that said, it's been a while, I'm overdue for a Q&A, can I do one? So I said, sure, but you know what? I haven't done one with Parker in a while. I think the last time we did it was in the fall, and the last time we did it, the video in the fall. And I said, do you guys want me to do the Q&A video myself with you guys, like just the girls hanging out, or do you want Parker to do it? And let me tell you, 67% of you said with Parker. So we'll talk about this later. But for now, if you guys send in a question on this post here on my Instagram, then hopefully we have time to answer it. And before I bring in my charming, delicious, very handsome co-star, I do have to say this. Without fail, every time Parker is even remotely a little bit in a video answering anything, I get the comment of, gosh, Dani, let the man talk. All right, so couples work out because of their unique dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the entertainer, I'm the clown, and he's the anchor. It's the vibe we have, it's how we get along, and I don't filter my thoughts, which can sometimes be a problem. Parker filters his thoughts through as many filters as he could possibly think of, and the neighbor's filters. So it usually takes him a while to get a thought out. And with these videos, I try to like get the ball rolling. So if I ever seemingly interrupt him or rush him, I probably am, but he's okay with it. So we should also be okay with it. Deal? Do we have a deal? Can we agree on that before I bring him in? And don't get your hopes up. The beard hasn't come back, or the mustache. So just Parker. You ready?
Ready.
You guys send in your questions. He doesn't like surprises. I don't like surprises. So I've read them to him, but we haven't discussed any of them. So I just kind of didn't want him to feel like he was getting water thrown at him. You know what I'm saying? And the interesting thing about these questions is they're directed at him. So it's not like, oh, we're gonna do this together, like answer questions for the pandas. It's like, no, they're, hey Parker.
Pressure's on.
So get ready.
All right, I'm ready.
Get ready. All right, and they're gonna be random. Do you want to start top to bottom or bottom to top? Bottom are the oldest, top are the newest.
So top to bottom. Oh. Easier to scroll.
Okay.
All right.
You sure? Okay. What frustrates you about each other?
Oh, man, what frustrates me about you?
It's about each other. So you can go, or I can go, or we can both go, or you want to go first, or I can go first.
What frustrates me about us is if we have a disagreement or an argument.
Did you hear how he said us? He didn't say Dani.
Well, is this us?
No, it's like about each other.
Oh.
It doesn't say us. So, like, what frustrates you about me? Besides interrupting you all the time.
What frustrates me? This is kind of scary. I don't know if I want to play this game.
Do you see how I cornered you too? There's no exit that way. The exit's over here.
Well, when we have a disagreement and Dani gets upset, it takes Dani a while to process it and get through all the emotions that come with it and come out on the other side. And sometimes that takes a while, and maybe I might get a little impatient, so that can be frustrating for me.
Questions. Yeah, he says that. What do you call it? You say you have a word for it.
Stonewalling.
No, that's what your therapist told you. The actual, it's like a funny, like I take a vacation or something. But I mean, if I'm upset, I'm gonna say really mean things to you, and I know that because I'm hurt. And so if I don't take the time to be hurt, to be angry, to be sad, to understand why I got sad, and then to actually have a poignant answer, like this is what happened, this is what we need to do, and I don't want this ever again. It takes me a while to get there.
It's a process. And
if I don't have my process, then I'm gonna be like, you beep, 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 and your mother too. Just kidding.
You gotta go through your process, and I gotta be patient and wait for you to get through that process. I mean, I think we all have our processes and things that just aren't gonna change about us, and our partners probably shouldn't expect us to change it. So I think part of being in a partnership is trying to work with that. Like, accept these things that might frustrate you about your partner and just be okay with it and know they got to go through what they got to go through, and you just got to be patient and let it get there.
Mm-hmm. What frustrates me about you?
How much time do we have?
Like, deeply, I would say he's like a yes man. Like, he really wants to make people happy, and it's sometimes at the expense of like the people that he should be worried about making happy, you know. And so he wants everyone to be cool, everyone to have a good time. He wants everyone to know he's an easygoing guy, and I'm like, I didn't want you to agree to that. Like, that's not a good idea. And he's like, no, but it makes everyone happy. And I'm like, don't worry about it. The only person you need to make happy is this one, because I sleep next to you, you know. So yeah, I would say like deep answer, but obviously there's like stupid stuff that annoys us about each other, but I think that's a question here too. Actually, let's answer it. It's here somewhere. It was, what are some things that annoy you or frustrate you about your partner that shouldn't?
Oh.
Yeah, like, you know it's dumb, but you can't help that it annoys you. I'm sure there's a bunch. There's my angry turning over.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It kind of comes in phases though. It's like we'll be dead asleep, okay, and she has to have her huggy pillow. She has to have the covers up to her cheekbones.
Yeah, my nose just sticks out like that.
And then she's got her other pillow, and then she's got your Squishmallow in there too.
I don't sleep with Squishmallows. I'm an adult.
So you can imagine if she just turns over at night, all the things she has to go through to get settled back down again, using all her sleeping aids. So that there's a lot of punching, grabbing, jerking. Breathing with frustration, and slapping pillows around. So yeah, it could be just a little tornado going off on the side of the bed sometimes. But I hesitate to complain since I've become a snorer.
He hasn't become. He's like a Pokemon. He's
snorer.
Always been a snorer. Now he's like the ultra rare legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess I'm slowly turning into my father.
Twins,
we're
you
working
guys.
on
They're
it.
twins. For me, just to name one, because I'm neurotic. Like, I admit this. Lots of stuff bothers me about lots of people that shouldn't really, because it's like, well, what does that have to do with you? But one would be, like, we're eating, look you guys, before I forget, that was Parker's dad and baby Parker. Hide your face. Hide your face. Now hide my face. Can you see? Look at that. The resemblance, right? Look at that. Screenshot this. Both of us are covering our eyes. Surprise! No. He could be eating pudding, cake, ice cream, and his teeth make contact. Yeah. And I'm like, it's soft. It's melted. But he does the chompy McGill. What he loves and doesn't love about being married to a strong Latina. I almost choked on my spit at the strong. I just didn't believe myself.
You okay? You take a break? And do a little technical difficulties thing?
Technical difficulties. What he loves and doesn't love about being married to a strong Latina. I don't think I'm strong.
You're strong. I don't see the... I don't know if the Latina comes out very strongly. I don't know. I don't know what that's like. But I've always wanted to be with a strong woman. I wanted a partner who would walk beside me, not, to the back and to the right. I wanted an equal partner. And that's what I found in Dani. That's one of the things I love about Dani. And but on the negative side, sometimes it can be difficult to get her, to kind of see things my way. And it might take some talking and some time for her to come around. But yeah, there's good and bad with it. But for me, the good far outweighs the bad.
Oh, can Parker do a video review of products he likes using? He uses whatever I give him. He doesn't know. He's like, is this for my face?
I have some favorite brands. I do have my own personal favorite things, like anybody does. I have some things that I really love. Like I love VIII's. There's something, the quality. They're an American company, so that gets me excited. But I'm not sure you'd be too interested in things that get me excited. So I don't know. Maybe I can do an episode for all the hubbies out there.
Oh, what to get your man?
Yeah, we'll do a Christmas special.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That'd be fun.
How do you deal with an old friend who suddenly changes and is now treating you like... That doesn't sound like she was ever your friend.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the friendship's over.
No, okay, well...
Well, people
how good of a friend were they?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a lot of different types of friends who are on lots of different kind of levels. You also have to take into account that people change over time, and people become different people. And sometimes you're just not... I don't know what to do with my hands.
You can move your hands like I do, but if you do this, it hurts their earbuds.
I'm an amateur.
Yeah.
Some people do change over time, and sometimes you just don't change with them. And sometimes maybe that friendship isn't healthy anymore, and you have to move on. Mm-hmm. But some friends are worth going through those hard times and being patient. And sometimes you might have to be the giver, and they be the taker for a period of time until they get better. And that's what a true friend is.
Yeah, so she said old friend, so I'm thinking like, oh, did you guys go to high school together? If it's a good friend, she knows your kids, you go to each other's birthday parties together. If someone doesn't have somewhere to go for Christmas, they come to your house. Like a good friend, and they're treating you badly, you have to ask why. What's going on? Are you okay? Are you going through something? Can I help? Did I do something? If they're not a friend where you as a human acknowledge or recognize a change in behavior, because you're not that close, you don't speak that often, where this is odd, no one should treat you like crap. So that's where you set up your boundaries and say, I'm sorry, I don't disrespect you, you don't disrespect me. Either you have a problem with me and you bring it to the table, or I'm not gonna worry about it. Because until you give me the responsibility for your conflict, I'm not spending my time on it. That's a you problem now, and if you want to make it a me problem, come to me correct. But otherwise, no. Treating you like, no way, man.
If they're a good friend, be patient. If not, don't bother yourself with it.
Well, I think if they're a good friend, they would tell you directly, This is a one-word answer, okay? And we're going to go to 3, and you're just going to say.
False.
Do you and Parker bicker over each other's kids?
Yes.
Yes. What has been your hardest challenge or obstacle in marriage, and how did you guys overcome it? That's tough, right? It's like, where do we start?
I don't know. There's been so many. Read the question again.
Our biggest, hardest challenge or obstacle in marriage, and how did we overcome it?
Biggest, hardest challenge, I would say, is blending the family. Mm-hmm. I still don't think we've overcome it. And I think it's something we're always going to be working on.
They say it takes 7 years. We don't have 7 years.
Yeah,
so we're just kind of
we're still trying
trucking
to figure
along.
It out.
Yeah. Initially, blending a family sounds fun. And then when you're starting, it's easy. And then when you're in the middle of it, it's almost impossible. Because there's a lot of moving pieces. There's my way, his way, the kid's way, and then the co-parent's way. And you could have a co-parent that's like super accommodating and nice and kind, and we're friends, like me and my co-parent. You could have another co-parent that is absent or present. You could have another co-parent. You could have co-parent that isn't even present. There's
so many different types of co-parents you can have.
You can have a high conflict co-parent. There's so many different,
the next.
And they count because they are the actual parent. For me, it helped a lot to come to the realization that I am not the parent. I removed myself from that responsibility and that role, and it really helped me a lot because I'm naturally a helper, I'm naturally a teacher, I'm naturally I want to be involved, and sometimes I give myself a bigger role than I should, and I hurt my own feelings, you know? And so that helped me a lot. But I would say, yeah, that's our biggest challenge or obstacle, and we have yet to overcome it. Well, and they say there's two kinds of conflict. The kind you can solve, and then the perpetual. I think this is a perpetual problem because we're not married to each other's co-parent. Mm-hmm. We're not all in a relationship with direct contact with each other all the time, you know? We don't have the same goals. And so it's gonna be a perpetual problem where unless it's a really big deal, we just kind of gotta ebb and flow, go with the flow. What's the other word?
Give and take.
Give and take, yeah. What is the biggest challenge of marrying someone with kids?
What is the biggest challenge?
Co-parents?
It's such a dynamic thing.
Let me clarify, because that sounds like I'm throwing someone under the bus. For me, it's co-parents because I will say it out loud. Like, my co-parent and I are friends. We have zero conflict. We get along well. However, we were once married and now we're divorced. So our views don't align on a lot of things. We don't agree on a lot of things. And you almost have to ask for permission to do things with your kids. You know, like I have to tell them in advance, like, I want to take the kids to see Lightyear. I want to go see the Buzz movie. Don't do it ahead of me, you know? And then he's like, oh, okay, I already had plans, but thanks for telling me. And then he won't do it. So it's having to go through the threshold, you know? Like, there's like, what is it like when someone's like guarding a door to be able to do something or anything with the kids? You know, sharing finances because of the kids. And so there's that factor of like your kids aren't totally yours at all times. You can't parent them the same way all the time. You have to share their schedule with them. And so the co-parent may not be toxic, high conflict, negative, drama, whatever, like Jerry Springer, but they're still, hey, you know, we were supposed to go here such a day, but my co-parent needs me to take the boys, so we got to reschedule. And this is our life, but yet we're still having that like ex bleeding into it, you know? And so it's like being in a relationship with your ex, but now with your new, like, you know, like
yeah,
you don't have a choice. You have to be in a relationship with my ex-husband. I don't have a choice. I have to be in a relationship with your ex-wife. And then also the ages of the kids. I came in really late to the picture. His babies were formed, like full formed personalities, attitude, preferences, likes, dislikes. I mean, they were little adults. And so me breaking into that dynamic, it's super difficult. Like I'll never be seen as a mom, a maternal figure, as someone that, you know, gives them any sort of responsibility or rules or respect. But with mine, there's children, little kid. Daniel doesn't remember a life without Parker. So he's still seen as the role of you can take care of me, you're allowed to, I can ask you for permission. You can say yes, you can say no. If they're doing something they're not supposed to and he like says, hey, get down from there, whatever, they know this is authoritative figure.
Yeah, the boys have
moldable.
The boys have a good mom, they have a good dad. I'd like to think of myself as a guardian. You know, mm-hmm. I like to fill in the gaps when they're not there, just to help out. I just want to be a helper to the boys' parents, and that's the role I try to take on, and they seem to like that.
So the biggest challenge would be
finding your place, mm-hmm. finding your spot, finding what.
That's a good way of
finding like where am I needed, mm-hmm. and filling that role. And it takes time and it takes experimentation. But when you finally find it, that's when things really start to fall into place.
Yeah, that's true. It's me, Geo5 says, hello, I just wanted to say thank you both for sharing a piece of your life with us. Hello. Aww, hello. This is more for Parker. Dani, be quiet. She didn't say that. I added that part. It's the self-deprecation. When did you realize that Dani was it and she was the one?
Probably the way you tore into that chicken sandwich. On the first day, that was impressive. She just went for it, you know. And I'm like, wow, if she will bare her soul like that in front of me,
it was a fried chicken.
You know
sandwich.
what? She might be the one.
It wasn't grilled chicken. We don't do grilled chicken around here, okay? Rude.
It was a touching moment.
There is no lie. Gisela wants to know, what is the most rewarding part of your job? And someone previously asked, what is your career?
I have
OnlyFans.
Not yet.
The looming recession.
Well, everybody knows my career is in law enforcement. The most rewarding thing is working with the families of victims. And that sometimes through my investigations, I can give them closure. Mm-hmm. And I see what a positive effect that can have with someone who has had a tragedy thrust upon them and a loved one. So when I can do my job and provide answers for them and give them closure so they can go on with their mourning process, that to me is rewarding, because I feel like I truly helped on a very important level.
Yeah. Why was the baby comforter so sad? Because it was a little down.
It's a good one. I'm going to remember that one.
For Mateo.
Yeah, from Mateo.
Mateo's the only person in this house that'll celebrate his dad jokes.
That's fine. That's the only one.
And he's a wealth
if he laughs,
of
I'm good.
knowledge when it comes to dad jokes. How do you guys get over it on those days where you may just not like each other?
How do we get over those days? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's good just to have time apart. Sometimes it's good just to go do your thing and let them do their thing and have a little time to reset. Go do something you enjoy, get your mind off of it, and then come back to it. And you'll find yourself in a different place.
How do we get over it?
How do we get over it?
You never leave anywhere.
I'm talking about the garage. That's not fun.
Oh, I was like, where do you go to get over conflict?
I don't know, the backyard.
Where are your friends?
I don't leave the property.
He does. He'll either clean the grill, get in the pool.
I'm too attached. I can't go too far away.
Goes to the garage. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah. I thought you were giving her advice, you should go to a yoga class.
Well, you can do that too. Just go have time for yourself, Give yourself a chance to mentally reset. Exercise is huge. Get fresh blood going through your brain, and, you might see things differently after that.
How do you guys get over it on those days where you just don't like each other? For me, a thorough conversation is really important. I can't process and verbalize my feelings if I'm upset. So I need to take time to feel my feelings and then to get to a rational state of mind. And in that time, I can kind of gather my thoughts and explain to him why it was so upsetting and whether or not he understands it. Usually he doesn't, because he has to process it too. But just the idea of me planting the seed gives me permission to let go of the anger, because now I'm like, okay, I said my piece. I explained to you what's going on. Now it's up to you to do something with it. And if you have any questions, then you can bring it to me. I think until that happens, until I'm able to get it off my chest, I can't just get over it. But once I do just get over it, Because then there's nothing really to do. It's not like he can show me, oh yeah, I'm never gonna do that again in that moment. What is it? The best apology or the best form of getting over something is by not repeating that behavior. So what's the point of holding on to anger unless you give someone an opportunity to show you that whatever happened was either a mistake, a misunderstanding, or a lapse in judgment, and give them an opportunity to show otherwise. But I do need to have the breakdown. I have to get it off my chest. I just can't be okay, well, I should get over it. I can't. I can't let things go.
Yep, and you got to give her space until she gets there, And then it is like a big pressure release, and then it's all out, and then you start dealing with it and trying to make changes and trying to figure out how to keep it from happening again.
Do you think one can find their person outside of dating apps? I'm hesitant to try them.
I know a lot of people who met someone outside of dating apps.
Our generation.
Yeah. A lot of church couples. I know a lot of church couples. They met at church. I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know how you go out
in that direction. That's where I'm going.
How do you just bump into somebody and hit up our relationship? Because I had some blind dates with friends, and I was like, "You picked this person for me? Really?" So I gravitated toward the dating app. I only used one, and that was Match. And now I'm not going to say that made it easy. It was still hard, and it was like a part-time job. trying to find someone that you had something in common with.
We don't have anything in common, and we get along great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just to find a match, find someone that you were attracted to and wanted to get to know better. I couldn't imagine going into a bar and trying to start up a conversation and meet someone. Not when you're over 30. You know, I couldn't imagine that ever working. So that's why I use the dating app Match.
Yeah, and it's like, I'll give you an example, and maybe it's relatable, maybe it's not, but it's like if I were anti-electronics or devices with my children. If I was like, you know what, my kids can't have iPads, and they're not going to have cell phones until they get a job, which is the generation I grew up in, and they go to school and they're on iPads and laptops all day. And they go to their friend's house and there's iPads all day. So I'm sure you pay your light bill and your gas bill and your cell phone bill electronically. And I'm sure that your doctor now offers you a telehealth consult versus an in-room consult. And so if you don't adapt with the changes, time's not going to stop for you. It's going to keep going. And so we get our groceries delivered and we get Amazon delivered to our door, you know, in 6 hours or the next day. And so it's one of those things
now
where
you get a boyfriend delivered to your door.
You know, you have to adapt. You have to adapt. And no, it's not the only way, but if most people are getting their groceries delivered and people aren't going to Blockbusters on Friday night to check out movies and people don't go to the library anymore to check out books, like, where are you actually gonna run into someone unless it's like the gym, at work, or at church?
Yeah,
I mean, or crash into them, you know?
Waiting for the right person to show up in front of you, you might be waiting for a very long time.
You have to make it happen for yourself.
Yeah, you have to be proactive.
But that's why there's classifications of apps, you know? Do you want to be on Tinder, or do you want to be on Bumble, or do you want to be on Hinge? Do you want to be on Match? Heck, you could be on eHarmony, and people on eHarmony, like, still date from a desktop computer, you know? So there's...
What do you want?
Degrees of it.
What kind of relationship do you want? And there's an app for whatever kind of relationship you want. Just start from there. Just create a profile. Don't put a picture on it, anything. And just browse all around until you're comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, maybe...
Yeah, baby step it. You don't have to jump in the pool. You can just lay out for a little while. The other thing is, you could go, say, to Target every day after work and just kind of walk around, see if you bump into someone or meet anybody. And the chances of that person being married, divorced, have kids, whatever, you won't know that off the bat. On a dating site, you could be on the site, and instead of going to Target every night of the week, you could have a date every night of the week and just power through it. You know, like, what's your goal? And are you making the necessary adjustments to your life to reach your goal? Because saying, I want to be in a relationship, but then not actively doing anything to manifest it or to go in that direction, you know, stack the deck. Go to church and go to the gym and go to the Targets, but yeah, put up a profile, maybe anonymously. Don't put any pictures yet, and just kind of snoop around and see if there's anyone in your area.
I was anonymous for a while. I didn't put my photo on my profile for quite a while, and it was just looking around and trying to get comfortable with that idea because it was something that was very foreign to me when I first started. Yeah, wasn't like, what am I getting into? You know, is this a scary place? Do I feel safe in this place? You know, so just try it. Just, you don't have to put any. You can put just a random name. Don't put your photo on there, and you'll have access, and you'll be able to look around, and you might find that, hey, this is the way to go for me. But to wait around for the right person to show up in front of you during daily life, you know, you may be waiting for a long time. Be proactive.
Yeah, I don't remember what. I think it was Todd. I think it was my financial planner that said, time's not going to stop for you. Like, time's changing they're not going to wait for you to be ready. It's going to keep changing, and if you don't change with it, you will get left behind. And it's true. And it's true for everything, for relationships, for kids, for your job, for, you know, sometimes we feel safe in our comfort zone, but no growth happens in a comfort zone. Growth happens in your discomfort zone.
That's a good point. It's like when you went to get your job, did your job just show up in front of you and, you know, recruit you, or did you go out looking for a job?
Yeah.
You know, so if you go out looking for what you want, you're probably going to find it. If you're waiting for what you want to come to you, you're going to be waiting a long time.
This one I'm going to answer because I think I was in this pickle when I was single. are situationships harder to move on from actual breakups? Sorry, friend. I'm the friend that's going to say stuff to maybe hurt your feelings, but it's always with the best intention at heart. You know what a situationship is, right?
No.
A situationship
I don't know what a situationship is.
I don't claim you. Like, I don't claim you, or you don't claim me. But we go out, we do the other stuff, we hang out, but we're not an item. We're not official. Mm-hmm. He can go around, dick around, do whatever he wants. I can go around, dick around. But one person always wants a relationship, and they're in it because that's all they can get. When you, the first thing is when you're in a situationship, which you know, if you're cognizant of it, that's a choice you made, and that's never ideal. Accepting less than you deserve, it's always a bad idea. And getting over it is significantly harder than an actual relationship, because knowing that you weren't claimed, knowing that you weren't in an official relationship, knowing that this person didn't choose you, you stayed. So in the back of your mind, hope was there. Hope isn't going to disappear overnight because you realized, oh, that's right, it was a situationship. Like, you compromise your boundaries, your integrity, by agreeing to be in a position with the hope that it would be something else. So, in essence, until you're ready to break up with yourself, you're never going to get over it. Like, you're not breaking up with your situationship. You're breaking up with yourself in the way you violated your boundaries. And that's hard, because you have to be like, oh gosh, man, this is all self-created. There's a little bit of guilt and shame involved, but it takes a while to get over because you get mad at yourself for ever agreeing to be in a relationship like that.
Wow, I just learned a lot just now. That was... I don't have anything to add.
You will get over it when you are ready to break up with yourself, because you decided that you felt comfortable violating what you deserved, like accepting less than you deserved. You did that to yourself. And so oftentimes I think when we're in a when we find ourselves in a situationship, it wasn't a mystery. Like, it wasn't like, wait, is this a situation? No, you knew the whole time. I mean, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck.
Hey, and if it's a situationship and it's over, end it. Give it closure. Say, hey, this was fun, but now it's done. Now it's over. I think
burn the bridge for yourself.
Yeah, I think closure.
So you don't go back.
Closure's an important thing.
That's a good.
Yeah, officially end it so you can move on from it. If you don't officially end it, neither one of you.
You're gonna want to go back.
Yeah, the door's always open. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Close the door, tear it down.
That's an easy door to walk through on probably a room that's kind of negative. So hey, just close it, shut the door, move on. It's like when you throw the dessert away in the trash, then you spray it with Windex. Windex that relationship.
First of all, it was ketchup.
Okay, ketchup, whatever. You have so many bad date stories. It's hard for me to keep them all straight.
Lisa wants to know, if one of you couldn't drink alcohol anymore, would the other stop?
If you couldn't drink alcohol anymore, like you suddenly became allergic,
or I would chose not to.
Well, if you choose not to, that's your choice. I don't think I would choose not to.
So it would have to be an obligatory decision. Like, it's out of my control for you to actually stop. For me, it was a yes. Like, if he says I don't want to drink anymore, I would not drink either. If he got sick and he couldn't drink anymore, I wouldn't drink either. If he took medicine that he couldn't drink anymore, I wouldn't drink. It's not a hard decision for me. But apparently it is for you.
No, it's not a hard decision at all.
You literally just said, if it was a choice, I wouldn't stop.
Well, if he's like, if you're like, you know what, I don't think I like drink. I don't want to have any more drinks. I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I do enjoy having an occasional drink, so I'm going to continue. Now, if you were on medication and you couldn't, or
that's literally what I just said, but you're making it sound like it's less bad.
Yeah, well, I'm right, and you're not.
No, it's basically you do not like that I've made your choice sound negative.
My choice wasn't negative.
No, I said you don't like that I made it sound negative.
I think you misunderstood what my choice was. Like, if something happened and you could not drink anymore, I would support you by not drinking.
When we have a disagreement, usually it's because I see it as implicative and he sees it as literal. So right now I'm saying like, oh, but that was your choice, is my choice. I'm thinking it in terms of loyalty. I'm like, okay, so I would support you. My loyalty's to you. So if you choose to, don't want to, say you don't want to, whatever, I'm done. I just quit because my loyalty's to you. And to him, it's like, no, facts. medicine, surgery, illness, whatever, I won't because it's right. And then, but then you're like, but if it was just a choice, then no, I like alcohol.
Okay.
So
I choose not to eat anything sweet anymore. I'm cutting sugar out of my life.
He's saying that because I like sweets.
Would you be like, okay, well, I'm not going to either?
But sugar doesn't crash cars, kill people, make you sick, get you overweight.
We're not saying anybody
illness.
else. No, this isn't like we have a drinking problem.
But there's restrictions with alcohol. It's a lot different than food.
Sugar can be very dangerous. You could be like, diabetic,
No one's accusing you of giving the wrong answer. I'm just saying, hey guys, this is the difference between how we think. I think implicatively versus the way you think is logical, literal. That's why we make a good team. Because I'm the sailboat just getting lost in the ocean and he's the anchor.
And we can argue.
But he's always like, I didn't do anything. It's not my fault. Stop accusing me. I'm like, I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying we gave different answers. And
I think you all saw what happened.
Good grief. As we both drink alcohol right now. Advice for dating post-divorce. I took a 3-year break from a 12-year relationship and I'm scared. Like she was together for 12 years, then was single for 3? Is that what you get from the question?
That's what I got from that. And now she wants to date again, but she's scared.
She doesn't know where to start.
That's perfectly natural. Mm-hmm. I was terrified. I was
excited.
I didn't know what. I
was like,
woo!
I
didn't know.
Do it!
It's okay that you feel that way. That's perfectly natural. I was very hesitant and apprehensive about it too. Maybe self-confidence issues. I don't know. And I don't know if there's a magical time from like divorce to starting dating again. I think it's different for everybody. But you took your 3 years and now you're looking into doing it again. That's probably the right time for you. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be scared, but I mean, you can't be brave unless you're scared. So, put yourself out there and see. Be careful and just see what happens.
You mentioned there's no magical time, but there is. I think there is because if she had a bad 12 years in this relationship, that's still a part of her now. And that's why I didn't date, because I was in a bad relationship. And me being in a bad place, in a bad state of mind with battle scars and wounds and trauma, I can't bring that into a new relationship. So if there has been a period of healing where you know who you are now post the 12 years, where you are your own individual with your own opinions and your own tastes, and you know what music you like again, and you know what your favorite food is, and all your clothes is clothes that you chose for yourself, you wear the color of nail polish that you want to wear, you make choices confidently for yourself, then yes, you're ready to date. But you're absolutely right. Unless you're scared, then there's no bravery involved. So it is nerve-wracking. And that's not the end-all be-all either, because it's nerve-wracking and it's scary, and then you're going to go on a slew of terrible dates.
Yeah. And
that's still not the answer. It's a process, and it's not an easy process.
Don't go into it looking to replace something that's missing. Go into it looking for something that's going to complement what you already have. Something that's going to make things better, even better. So make it good first, and then find someone who you think will make things better.
That's a good point. It's like having really good cake, but if it doesn't have like fancy frosting on it, it's still a good cake. But if you find the delicious frosting and the sprinkles, well, all right.
It goes back to like dating yourself for a while, like getting to know yourself, getting your confidence back, getting back on your own 2 feet, and feeling good about yourself. And once you're there, I think that's the time that you should start looking for a partner to enjoy life with.
That's actually a great example. I mean, I took time to myself when I got divorced because of the leftover, like it was like the apocalypse dust, like the radiation was left over. And so I had to get to a better place. When I was at a better place, I still wasn't being myself. And it took me, a while until I met him. And when I met him, I showed up to that date and I was like, I'm wearing what I want to wear. I want to go on a date at like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm gonna wear heels even though I'm a mastodon. and I'm gonna get fried chicken, I'm gonna order a beer, and I'm gonna snort laugh, and if he wants to be okay with it, then great. If he doesn't, then he's not the right person. Literally was my state of mind. Like, that was my mindset. I said, and if he's not okay with it, I am taking a break, because enough of the dating. I'm over it. And it wasn't until I was like 100% myself, I literally show up to his date, and we get married. So
I was okay with all of it, apparently.
I wasn't doing it right, apparently. I wasn't being myself. So I think you just have to be completely head over heels in love and acceptance of yourself and who you are. And the person that can appreciate that will walk through the door after you put in the effort of like meeting people.
Yeah.
Right? You get recognized by the pandas when you're without Dani out running, when you go shopping, run errands, or at work.
No one's ever come up to me and said, "Are you Parker?" Like, no, that's never happened. But
I get all the direct messages. Oh my God, I saw Parker at Target. I was too embarrassed to say hi. You know? Was Parker at Target like 2 hours ago? Because I think I saw. Yeah, that was Parker. Go say hi to him. But he has RBF.
Maybe.
He looks scary in public. He was like, it's on a mission. What has Dani taught you about yourself? Selfishly, I picked that one because of the teacher, you know? What has Dani taught you about yourself? You'll come back to it?
Yeah, let's come back to that one. That's going to take some thought.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a very long-winded, wordy answer, so you're going to have to stay on track, and you're really going to have to keep me on track if I even try to contribute. Advice for a relationship with someone with a very secretive job, like military clearance.
Well, that's kind of I need more specifics to really understand that one. Like, what problems is it causing?
My woman instinct, which sometimes can be considered paranoid or conspiracy theory. My woman instinct is telling me that he uses that as an excuse to be secretive. Because to my understanding, if you have high, ultra, super duty, rare military clearance, which I've met people like that, if they take a mysterious trip, you don't know what the trip is about or where they're going. You can't know where their office is, like the address. Like, we have some top secret FBI offices like around the corner. We don't know the address, right? And so there's certain things, maybe your work phone, that is private. Email. But like your laptop, your cell phone, your text messages, your Instagram, that's not super top secret military clearance. So I think that using that, I'm getting the impression that this person may use this as an excuse to be lying by omission. Some people don't consider that lying. I do. I consider it, but I have trust issues. So if you just don't tell me, I think you're lying to me. As opposed to some people are like, well, you didn't ask. That's not valid for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, transparency is transparency. However, if she's just talking about like, oh, he gets to travel for work and I don't know where he's going. If you meet someone that tells you, I have top secret, super murderous military clearance, you can't ask about it. That person is direct and tells you, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't ask me this, you can't do this, you can't know that. And they kind of lay it out for you. That's something, the ball's in your court. You have to decide if you're okay with it or you're not. That's your boundaries. So if you feel the person is genuine, integral, completely honest, and is disclosing and saying, I just can't share with you, and you make the choice, you gotta live with your choice. I couldn't. I'd be like...
Yeah, that would be hard. I can understand how that's hard. Mm-hmm. But in a situation like that, some people aren't cut out for being in a relationship like that. But
I'm not cut out for a relationship like that.
Yeah,
you might be.
I would think that a person would have to say, hey, I trust this person unconditionally until they give me a reason not to trust them anymore. And you just have to maybe just accept and move on and just trust that they are being faithful. Know who
you are. Know who you are as a person. And if you're cut out to accept this truth, good. If you know yourself and you're not, don't try to make it work. Because it's going to be like putting a peg into a square hole or a square to a...
Yeah. If you can't commit completely, maybe you shouldn't.
If you have trust issues, it's not going to work. Because you're going to be scared, paranoid, and nervous all the time. Even if they haven't given you a reason to be scared, paranoid, or nervous. Like, I get scared, paranoid, or nervous with him all the time. But it's not because I don't trust Parker. It's because sometimes the people in his bubble are people that I don't trust. And so I'm like, And he's so nice. He's like, everyone's nice. Everyone has good intentions. I'm like, no, they're not. No. I'm like his security guard. Space, you know?
She makes me feel so safe.
It's my muscles. All right, Parker. Is it coupon or coupon? In New Hampshire, we say coupon. I love you both.
Love you too. It's coupon.
Yeah, and how do you say those little things that fall from the tree?
Acorns.
And how do you say when food has too much oil on it?
It's oily.
Or?
Greasy.
That's interesting. And how about when all your clothes falls off? What is that called?
Naked.
What's it called?
Naked.
No.
Naked.
He says naked. Naked.
That's what I said.
No.
Did I say that?
No, you actually said it correct. I was like...
Naked. Naked. Naked.
No. Naked is correct.
Naked.
You never say it like
Naked.
that.
Naked.
You say it a little sleazy.
Yeah.
You know? Like when it's oily.
Yeah.
The food's oily or greasy. Naked. Aaron wants to know what TV show we're watching together and the latest project we're working on. Weird. Like we ever work on anything together. I just write it down and then he doesn't.
TV shows are always fun. Let's see, we've been watching The Boys, which is like we
Don't
like
watch it with kids.
We like it 1 minute and then they'll do that thing and then you're like, I just want to turn it off. So it's been like a really love-hate relationship with that show.
It's so
over the top.
So over the top. It pushes every limit. It makes you really uncomfortable, but you have to keep watching it. What does that say about me as a person? Like there's guts and blood and brains and wieners.
Like it's a good story. You don't have to do all that shock and awe in there, you know.
Yeah,
you watch it
there's
without
shock
that.
and awe,
Yeah.
and they use the word "see you next Tuesday" like every other word.
Yeah.
So.
And
tough.
let's see, we've been watching Evil on Paramount.
Yes.
Yeah.
Evil. I think season 1 and 2 might be on Netflix, but the newest season 3, is on Paramount Plus. If you do not like demonic, religious stuff like that, they do that a lot, but they do it in a very...
Yeah, actually, you know, if there's like if your partner is religious and maybe you're not, I think you would still both enjoy it. It reminds me of Scully and Mulder in the X-Files.
X-Files.
Yeah. It's kind of a...
I don't like watching stuff
like
that talks about religion and demons and Satan and stuff like that and puts priests as like, what do they do? Exorcist. Mm-hmm. I have a very strong disdain for shows like that, but this show almost does it...
It does it a little
poorly. Like, you're like, oh, come on. Like, that's not a priest. No. Like, you don't believe it. It's almost it's not comedic. It's just, if you're religious... that doesn't feel religious. It's like, this show's bad, but you just keep watching.
I think it's entertaining. I think it's fun. It's kind of different from anything else out there right now. Mm-hmm. So it's kept my interest. It's got some really cool characters in it too. So we've been watching that. What else have we been watching?
Well, and it has a beautiful man. What's his name?
Oh, it's oh shoot.
Cage.
Nick Cage.
No.
What's his name?
Is it Nick Cage? Luke Cage.
Luke
Cage, the actor that plays Luke Cage, he's like the Adonis of like what a mannequin should be. And I always tell him, I'm like, I really want to make sure you know, I don't have a crush on him. He's not my hall pass. I just think he's like, I don't know, if someone were to say, what's the epitome of what a masculine man should look like?
I mean, I might have a crush on him.
Yeah. And he's like, I have a crush on him.
He's a good-looking man.
He's very, very, very good-looking.
There's also the nun, who has actually become my favorite character.
She's not even a main character, and she's so good!
She's so good.
That's what's keeping me on board.
Evil, Naked and Afraid.
Boys. We just ended.
Yeah, we just finished the season.
XL Legends, whatever the heck. But now they're going to do the freezing one. They're going to do Naked and Afraid in the tundra. I can't watch that. I'm going to be cold the whole time, which means I'm going to be mad the whole time.
It's got to be one of the shortest shows ever. Naked in the freezing.
I mean, that's just dangerous. At least no bugs.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We're going to watch it though.
And the latest project? Do we have any projects?
We're between projects right now. I mean, man, we've done the kitchen, the roof.
No, I think they mean like projects like, when we did the backyard and we did the backyard. We did the little bathroom. Mm-hmm. We don't have anything, huh?
Yeah, we're in between right now.
I think we're a little with our house right now.
Everything's breaking.
We just want to just not think about it right now.
Fixing all the things that break in a house.
You don't want to say anything?
let's see, the AC went out.
Thank you for letting us live here. Yeah, our AC was broken
Pool
for
cleaners.
6 days.
Bug invasion.
6 days. Yeah, bug invasion.
Sprinkler system.
Sprinklers
busted.
were all broken.
Yeah, it seem to be functional right now, though.
Let's just leave it alone. Let's not
Don't jinx it. We love you. Don't bring everything's fine.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one. Our camera's overheating, so we might have to take a break in between, but... Parker! How can I get my husband to put his tools away? Should I create a toolbox jail?
Hide them. And then when he
think
goes...
that's what she means by jail.
Yeah, hide them. And then when he's looking for him, he's like pulling his hair out. And like, oh, you looking for this? You know? And ask you to...
I thought you guys hate that, though.
Oh, we do. That's why we'll start putting them up. Because
Oh, okay.
or start leaving your shoes like on his workbench, you know. Hey, sit down and say, hey, you know, you're leaving the tools around. It's upsetting me.
I wonder where he leaves them, though.
Like in the bedroom or something?
Yeah, like, does he leave it on the vanity? Like a hammer?
Is he fixing something for you?
Oh, that's another good question. Yeah. But that's still no excuse, you know? And do it right or don't do it at all. This is the rule. So that's true. I mean, was he doing something for you and then he left his tools? Then you could be like, I really appreciate you doing for me. However, whack, you know?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Maybe?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I think I'd rather have tool gel. Hey, you know what? My best advice for you is to go say, hey, you know what? You're leaving your tools around. It makes me feel this way. Could you please do something about it? You know?
I think that helps a lot with you is if I say... This that you do makes me feel this. Like, what is that? Cause and effect?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, not just like, you're so messy. Then you're like,
well, it's like, you know, if you come and it's like, you're really annoying me with this. And I start thinking, well, you annoy me with some things too. So it's really not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our camera cut us off, but Parker was actually going to mention something that is probably one of the biggest lessons we've had to learn in our marriage. And it was almost like a Oprah aha moment or like a eureka moment. Doesn't have to make sense to you.
Yeah, and if you actually start talking about the base feelings, like if you bring it all the way down to the lowest denominator and talk about your base feelings, it makes me angry, sad, neglected, ignored. If you can bring it way down to that level, sometimes it makes it much easier for other people to understand. Hey, you know, you're leaving your tools around is really annoying. And, you know, you could say, well, you know, you annoy me too with something, so what's the big deal? Well,
and that is toxic and there's no resolution.
Right. So if you say, hey, your tools, leaving your tools around the house for me to trip on makes me feel very, you know, unimportant. It makes me feel, you know, neglected, and it makes me sad. If you say it that way, he is going to think, there is no way that I want my wife to feel that way. Mm-hmm. I don't want my wife to feel sad. Mm-hmm. I do not want my wife to feel neglected. And that might trigger a bell in his head that, you know, you know what, I need to start working on having better habits and stop doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, like you said, it's what tools are they and why is he leaving them out? Are they in the garage and is that his safe zone? You should see the garage right now. That's his safe zone. I don't even touch anything. I don't go into it. I have my own tools because I don't want to go into his stuff. And that's worked for us. But if he's leaving them around in a very inconsiderate kind of way and you've stressed it already that it bothers you, then you have to say, hey, listen, Henry, I don't know how to tell you anymore, but it really hurts my feelings when you leave your tools out because I've already hurt myself on them. The kids can trip on them and it's not safe. And when I tell you something, it's for a good reason. I don't feel safe. And I really appreciate it if you were a little more careful with where you leave them. And then you'd be like, oh crap, I didn't want to upset you. I just didn't think it was important. What's something you've done that to me is like a big deal and to him is like, wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
Wiping down the counters?
And no, but it's one of those things where we just have to accept, I don't have to prove to you that it's a big deal to me. You don't have to prove when something's a big deal to me. You telling me it's a big deal to me is enough. And I should respect that. Obviously, if he's telling you, like, I want you to wear a miniskirt every day, that's irrational. But if you're saying, like, it really hurts my feelings when, you know, I ask you to turn over the laundry and you don't do it, and I have to constantly repeat it, and it doesn't matter how many times I ask you, I just end up doing it myself. He doesn't have to, you don't have to validate to him why turning over laundry is important to you. He just needs to accept that it makes you happy and it helps you with your mental load or whatever.
But it's on you to explain that to him.
They're not mind readers.
We're not mind readers.
Not mind readers.
You have to communicate it directly and straightforward.
What are the top 2 or 3 charities you both would start if given the opportunity?
Well, I know what you would start. A little squirrel charity.
I think anything to do with senior pets. Senior pets, man, that's like... I don't know why people think senior pets are like trash. Like they're disposable. I would literally be like the Wolfgang account on Instagram. But that, I don't know if that's even a charity because like I want to keep them myself, you know? But then there's like Susie's Senior Pets. It's a rescue where they just rescue senior pets and rehome them. So I have a lot of experience with pets that are seniors, and I realize how much more challenging they become. But I mean, we get more challenging when we get older. You know, it's just a circle of life, and what makes an animal lesser than because they get old and sick and too. So something with senior pets would be for me, or maybe something with orphaned or foster children, because if you think about these entities, they don't have a voice for themselves. Like no one's willing to advocate for them, and I think I have a big enough mouth to say something for that.
Yeah, I think people would hear you. I think I'd do something for the elderly who are faced with dementia, mental challenges, loss of memory, things like that. I don't think there's enough out there. I don't think there's enough. I don't think we've had all the good ideas on how we can help them yet. And I wish there was more money, more support out there for more research to make those years better for those people and their families, because it is far-reaching, and I've seen it firsthand. Personally. Yeah, personally. So I think that's what I would do. I would try to help those who are struggling with dementia and loss of memory, because that doesn't just affect the person who's suffering from it.
Would your charity be for the care of or the research of?
I think the research of. I don't think there's enough resources out there. I don't think there's been enough research. I don't think there's enough tools out there to help those people and their families.
Research. That's expensive. So I think that's a good, gosh, to be able to just do whatever you want, you know, to have so much that you give. I was trying to explain that to Mateo the other day. I'm like, the idea is, our religious idea, our belief is that if you are given a lot, it's so that you have the ability to give a lot. So you're not given a lot to keep it, you're given a lot to share. And I was trying to explain that to him the other day, and he's like, to him it was like, well, yeah, duh. Like, what do you want to do with all of that stuff? Don't you want to help other people? And I'm like, doing a good job with you, buddy. Whew. Thoughts? I'm going to take a nap right now. Thoughts on green egg versus something like a Traeger, pros and cons.
I have the green eggs. I do not have a Traeger, but I know people who have Traegers.
Eggs. You're obnoxious.
The eggs.
I have 7 eggs.
You're like a little family, you know? A little egg family. Well, it depends on what kind of cooking you want to do, like, or what kind of cook you are. If you really enjoy, like, you know, using different charcoals and setting the fire and getting it going and being like really interactive with the smoker, I would say do the green egg. If you're the kind of person who wants to, like, I just want to go out there, put the ribs on the smoker and not worry about it, well, a Traeger's for you. I think they're actually both very good products, just depending on the kind of cook you are. If you're very attentive and like to be there through the process, get you an egg. You'll love it. If you want to set it and forget it, go get your Traeger.
You know how we call the iPad the babysitter for your young kids? If you want a babysitter for your husband, get him a green egg, because he'll stay outside for hours.
I enjoy the process. I do.
He got a text, like, this was probably years ago. I don't think we were even married yet. And his brother's like, do you want some peach wood? And I'm like, why would you want wood? And why does it matter if it's peach? He's like, oh, because you add different woods to the green egg and it makes the food taste different. I'm like,
yeah. kind of like you and your makeup. And your
well, and he
7
explained
different
it to me,
body
and he's like,
washes
you put in
and lotions,
the flavor. First of all, there's one body wash.
And moisturizers.
And there's more than 7 lipsticks moisturizers.
There's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so it's
But you enjoy the process.
Hobby. It's a hobby. Yeah. And when he was trying to explain it to me, because I'm like, I just want the grill to go click, 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 click. Like, that's it. That's all I want.
Triggers for you.
Because, you know, we do the sauces and the temperatures and the searing and the side dishes and the components. Like, to me, it's sexy to have, like, good grill marks on something, or to have, like, salmon perfectly well cooked. But if something to me tastes smoky, I'm like, it's not my favorite.
I like the smoky.
So I don't think about that. And what I think you have to, it's not a cooking thing. It's a hobby. It's literally a hobby. It's a hobby you enjoy that just happens to feed people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's expensive, but it keeps him busy. I mean, he loves it. Can I cook it on the grill? Does it need to be ready now? And he already knows. He's like, does it need to be ready now or soon? Because if it's going to be on the green egg, it's going to be like 6 hours later.
It's an art.
Yeah.
It's
does it need to be ready soon?
It's a process. It's not an exact science. You know, I can't like make it come out at exactly 3:30. It may run a little long, depending on factors.
Do you want to fight?
No, I don't.
Do you want to fight?
Okay.
What's the most annoying thing about each other?
Oh.
You've never told me.
The most annoying.
And don't get deep. Like, keep it simple. Like, what pops into your head? Like, to me, it's his popping jaw. It just pops for everything. There it is. For just breathing, pops jaw. Ice cream, pops jaw. Pudding, jello, steak, ribs. And I'm like,
Most annoying thing.
well, he's a good person. Or he's pretending to be.
Most annoying thing.
You're making me look real bad. Like, I had it right here in the top of my, like, tip of my tongue, top of my head.
I wasn't ready for this one.
Well, you still weren't ready for the other one we still have to go back to?
Oh, we're going back? I was hoping you forgot about that one.
I don't remember. I just remember we had to go back to one.
Most annoying thing.
He's scared to say it. I know he knows it. He's just scared to say it because he thinks I'm going to, like, haze them for, like, the next 3 days.
She gets in the zone. That can be a little annoying. She gets in the zone. When she's in the kitchen, she's cooking, she's in the zone.
Oh, but that's just ADHD.
You gotta stay away. You know, if she's in there getting ready, she's in the zone. You gotta get away. So when she's working, she's in the zone. So you gotta give her space so she can do her thing. So
that's annoying?
That's a little annoying, yeah.
Is it because the zone is impenetrable, or because
the zone has walls, and you can't, no matter what you need, you can't go. You don't break the wall. You don't break the plane when you're in the zone. So
the zone. I didn't know there was a zone.
There's a zone.
I can't get offended about that because I do. I'm like very super hyper focused when it's something important. Or not. It's important to me. Cynthia Florence wants to know, what was Parker's first impression of you?
She was like as advertised. You know, it's like that. I've been on so many dates where it's like, this is not
like the new Bronco.
This is not what I signed on for. You know, but she was all those things, and I was taken back. I think you probably like sensed that the first hour of our date. I was a little taken back about her. It's like,
I thought he was. So no, I wasn't taken aback.
I was like,
he's not. What he thinks he's giving off is never what he thinks he's giving. The whole time I was like, Sam, he's the worst. He's not into me. I'm just gonna wrap up the date to be polite, but
I was in my room. I didn't want to date anymore. I was done. And
the whole time he was like,
I was like, well, if she will go out with me, I'll go out on this one last date, you know, and then I would be really happy with just not dating for a while. And when I saw Dani for the first time, it sounds cheesy, but she had that glow around her, like she radiated something, and it's not something I'd ever seen before, and I thought it was strange.
In my defense, it was hot. It was June.
She was
sweaty, is what he's saying.
She was beautiful and happy and genuine, and that's what really attracted to me, is how genuine she was. I could tell that she wasn't putting on any kind of
So
show.
it worked.
Yeah, I guess.
My whole like,
yeah, I guess
letting it all hang
Yeah.
out, the double chin included.
Yeah, and then she showed me that she was interested in me too, and that was like really refreshing, you know, and it was like everything was out there. She goes, this is me. This is how I dress. This is how I talk. This is how I eat. And I really like you, and I'm going to show you that I really like you. Mm-hmm. And there was no games being played. So it was all the things I wanted. She checked all the boxes. And it took me a long time to process that and actually believe that was what was really happening. So, yeah, my first impression of Dani was actually maybe just...
She was a majestic, super ultra legendary angel, limited edition.
My first first impression of Dani it was a feeling of relief, because I think I'd finally found something worthwhile.
He's like,
you know?
Relief. She's either going to choose to stay with me or I'm going to kidnap her. But I found one.
There is hope, you know.
Bingo!
There's hope here. There's hope here. Where I had no hope,
Bingo!
Now I have hope. Maybe that's what I saw radiating around her when I first saw her.
Your own hope.
Hope.
Oh. Dating's hard.
Dating's really hard.
Dating is hard. And I mean, it's hard because even us, we were in this first date, and my first impression of him was he is too good looking, Sam. Call me in 10 minutes and rescue me out of this date. And then in like 3 minutes later, I'm like, wow, this man has absolutely zero walls, because he's admitting to me he made a mistake. He picked the wrong place. He's full on embarrassed, but he's cards on the table. Like, he's not Mr. Cool Guy. There was no facade. It was like, I made a mistake. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go somewhere else. And he's like, I don't know this area. I'm like, wait, I can lead? You're okay with that? He's like, yeah, you pick. I'm like, all right, follow me. He followed me, you know, and then we're in the date, and the date, you could visually see him. If he was holding a clipboard and taking notes, like, it would have been a lot more believable. But he was literally sitting there, and his face was like, I'm taking notes. Caught you in a lie. I don't think so. What else? Not funny enough.
Don't give me false hope, lady. Don't give me false hope.
He looked very on guard. No, not guarded. You've never seen guarded, but he was like...
I was waiting for the other shoe to drop.
That's
I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, I was waiting for the crazy ex-boyfriend to come crashing in, you know, or something like that. You know,
and little did you know, the crazy was here.
Crazy already arrived.
Crazy was here. Okay, we're coming back to the question we said we're coming back to. This is one of my favorite pandas. She always has my back. When people talk about my Pilates socks or my toes, she's like, tell me where they live. I will.
She's OG.
So she's OG.
All right.
So Miss Andrews wants to know, what has Dani taught you about yourself? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That's the song from the game show. Da-da-da-da.
I don't know the game show.
Da-da-da-da. Come on down. Would you carry?
Drew Carey. No, Price is Right. Yeah. No, and it's Bob Barker.
Okay, first of all, 10 years older.
Man, let's not get into the Bob Barker.
Mimi. Mimi inspired all of my makeup looks. So it's always going to be Drew Carey.
What has Dani taught me about myself? Dani has taught me that, you know, maybe I don't have things figured out. Maybe I do have a lot to learn. Maybe there is more to explore. Maybe there is... maybe life is really just getting started.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
You know that song?
What cartoon was that from?
Oh, the girls can be so disappointed in you.
Wait, don't tell me. You gotta dig a little deeper. Oh, I can see it in my head.
What do you see in your head? Mentiroso.
Gotta dig a little deeper. It's... Oh wait, is it the one where the New Orleans one? Yeah. Oh, Princess and the Frog.
Taryn's like, oh my God, what a relief. So focus. Continue. How I ruined your life. What else? There's more left. Dig.
Well, it's important to have a partner who challenges you, who makes you look at things differently, who won't let you just stay set in your ways, who will introduce you to other sides of things that you may not have ever looked at. So I think that's extremely important in a partner, that will always challenge you and take you outside of your box.
I was a little scared.
You make me better. You challenge me to learn.
I used to tell my students, each of you is sitting on top of like a precious mine. All of you. And you have the tools to dig, but you have to put in the work. So underneath you is a fortune. And I always tell this to Mateo especially, is there's always a fortune underneath you. But it doesn't just come to the surface. You have to put in the work and the effort and the blood and the sweat and the tears and the whatever it takes to get to it. And I think it's fair to say that about everyone in your life is you don't marry someone for their potential. I married him for who he was in that moment that I met him. Flaws and all, imperfections and all, accepting my own flaws, my own trauma. I chose him. But when you see someone and you're like, well, what about this? And he does the same thing for me. You know, like the parent who I was versus the parent who I am now is like a complete 180 after I met him. And not because of who he is as a parent, but because of who he is as a person. And how his parents were with him. And how he is with my own children. So don't marry someone or don't date someone for the potential you see they may have. Love them for who they are if they never change. However, if you see that they're not tapping into that mine and they're not digging, but it's there, it's our job to encourage them and to motivate them to do better. And he does that for me when it comes to the way I speak, the way I treat my kids, how patient I am, validating or invalidating the type of parent that I am. And so I feel like as great as it feels to be fiercely independent, we weren't made to be fiercely independent as humans. That's a coping mechanism. We were made to live in communities, to live in, what is it? It takes a village. To live in a village, you know, to acknowledge where we lack and to seek that from others and to get encouragement from others and to motivate one another. And so there's a lot of oxymoronic things that you learn when you become a partner in a relationship, because they say, oh, don't marry someone for their potential. However, if you see they can do better, why wouldn't you want them to?
When you fall in love with that person, plan a life with them. Don't try to change them, but grow yourself and expect them to grow with you. Mm-hmm. Change together.
That's true. That's true. If you're stagnant, then what's the point? Because you could be stagnant alone.
Yeah.
But if you grow together, that's a beautiful testament to wanting to be better for each other and to be contributors.
Yeah. Don't try to change each other, but just challenge each other to always do better and to grow together. Mm-hmm. That way you won't grow apart.
Yeah. Yeah, and when their cargo shorts just magically go missing, you don't answer any questions.
Yeah. You just
we moved, so
we moved on from it.
They must have lost the bag. Yeah. All your cargo shorts are missing?
That's a mystery.
Every single one?
There should be a documentary, The Missing Cargo Pants. Like, what happens to those?
Where do they go? Do you think they're with the mismatched socks that never come out of the dryer?
You think they're okay? You think they're happy
you know
wherever
what?
they are?
The cargo shorts are probably with my bobby pins and the mismatched random socks. Must be it.
Well, if they're all together, they're probably happy.
They're probably happy because they're not changing each other. And that's it. That's it, folks. That's all we can get. What is it? That's all, folks. What is it? What does Porky Pig say?
Abri.
Yeah. That's all we got for you guys. I anticipate this video being okay. It takes one margarita. It takes one margarita for the ESL to come out. Just one. And I'm not even done.
Okay.
It's been a very pleasant time to spend with you guys. I hope that you found just a little bit of this video useful. If not, at least I hope we entertained you with the ASMR. All of the other Q&A, girl chats, question and answer, confession videos will be listed in a playlist in the description box below. You know what else will be listed there? Parker's t-shirt. because we got it recently. So it's linkable. Isn't that exciting? So you guys know the drill. We appreciate you so much. We hope that you had a great time. We appreciate you guys just even entertaining us with submitting your questions. We hope that whatever is weighing on your heart right now, or whatever you have doubts about, or whatever you sent in a question about, you have since found resolution, peace, or comfort. Maybe not through our answers, but just in life in general. We love you guys so much, and you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys!